I am too indisciplined or too lazy or incapable of consistent efforts or being on a consistent diet. Therefore, I'm unable to cure myself of psoriasis or eczema. So this is a very common sentiment or phrase thought amongst people who have psoriasis or eczema or any other chronic conditions such as thyroid and so on. So I have interacted with people via the email list that I have, as well as founding members, and also people I know in my personal life who are in that age group of typically the people I interact with are in the age group of 25 to 28, 29, and they are very health conscious, this generation. They know all the facts and diets, but they know that they feel that they're not going to be able to stick to it, and therefore they'll not be able to get out of the clutches of the very disease that they are trying to kick the butt of. So I will go into all that and why I think this is a very common mistake and what exactly keeps people from being consistent and therefore getting consistent results. But before that, I want to let people know, if you've been on the Masterclass interest list, then the details of the Masterclass are out. It's going to be held on 1st November. So all the details about the Masterclass have been sent to your email if you had signed up. And if you want to know more about that masterclass for people who are seeing this video or hearing about the masterclass for the first time, then stay around till the end of the video. Okay, so now let's talk about this very common sentiment that people have when it comes to being able to stick to diets and therefore being able to have consistent health results. So many people think that they have to give their 100% and be consistent, and that means like constantly being on a diet and eliminating foods which are triggering their condition, in this case psoriasis or eczema, and that often means foregoing their favorite foods, their sweets, desserts. Most people talk about a sweet tooth, which I totally relate to, but then here is why most people struggle with being consistent and why they follow up their diets is because as much as consistency and hard work are important, what holds them back is that they are being consistent, they're trying to be consistent with a flawed strategy. So what that means is basically, if there is like a river and you are swimming downstream, like with the flow. So if the river's flowing this way, you're swimming with the flow of the river, then obviously your life is going to be easier. You're going to be less tired. You're going to be less tired versus if you were trying to swim upstream, that is go against the current of the river, and so it's going to take you longer to get to the destination. Whereas if you flow with the river, then you're going to get faster to the destination without as much tiredness. So if you are executing the wrong strategy, which is mostly what people do, they forego their favorite foods, they go on this completely strict diet of boring, bland food, they cut down on the carbs. Like this is very typical amongst people trying to lose weight. They cut down on carbs, which are so essential. Like I can't imagine my life with carbs. And then they go binge and they move to like the other extreme and they binge. So this is a flawed strategy. You need foods, you need flavors, you need fun in your life, you need your favorite foods. You just have to be smart about it. You have to be creative about it. So for example, many people, like I said, talk about missing out on sweets and desserts, but I give them my example of me having sweets and desserts every day. In fact, I have given them recipes of how they can have their favorite foods by including alternative ingredients, in place of ingredients which could be triggering them, which are best avoided in case of a skin condition. So there are so many ways to get around it, and there is no reason to have boring, bland food. So just like with weight, just like with any skin condition, with any illness that requires a diet, there are so many ways that you can find ways to have fun on that diet. And that's one major reason why people struggle with being consistent, because they think that a diet has to be boring, has to be boiled food, and so on. There is no reason for you to have boiled food, and there is no reason for you to eliminate carbs completely. There is a reason why human beings crave carbs so much, because it's essential. Like, have you noticed when you don't have carbs, you become irritated, right? So There's a reason why we have sweets in nature, why we have sweet fruits in nature, why we have dates and palm sugar and coconut sugar and jaggery available in nature, because I believe that whatever is available in nature is supposed to be available and therefore supposed to be consumed. So if it was not good for our health, I don't think nature would have provided that for us. So yeah, I mean, people look down upon potatoes because they're carbs. I mean, not look down as in like they think it's bad. First of all, there is no such thing as bad or good. And then they think sweets, they admonish sweets. I'm like, I feel like a little personally offended when people like criticize sweets or say that like, who has sweets? I'm like, there's a reason why human beings crave chocolates. There's a reason why human beings, when they're stressed, they think of a sweet food or a dessert, because it gives them comfort. It's something that our bodies are manufactured to want. There's a reason why our tongue picks up on sweet flavors. Similarly, by the way, it applies for all the flavors, all the tastes, such as bitter, different textures like crispy. You know, we crave something crispy when we're looking for comfort. I mean, most of the times people, by the way, I think this much, this one I discussed in my previous video, is that most people, they technically think of foods, their cheat meals, their indulgent foods, when they're not feeling well, either physically sick. And so for example, I crave potatoes and rice when I am feeling sick, or butter, or bread. And so you see, carbs and carbs. So I crave that. Fat also, like I crave butter, like I said. So all those things. And so yeah, there's a reason why we crave all these things, and we crave textures like crispy, so chips and all, when we are looking for comfort. So there is a reason why there are all these different textures and flavors are available in nature, and there is no reason for you to deprive yourself of that just because you have an illness. You just have to find a different way of approaching it, find recipes, whether you're in my program or not. I'm sure there are many resources you can find. So don't beat yourself up for not being able to follow a diet. You just have to find better recipes. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to mention, why people struggle with being consistent, is that they think consistency means 24/7 they have to do the same thing. So you cannot work 24/7 without getting burnt out if you don't take adequate rest or indulge in self-care. So just like if you were, like, let's say trying to build biceps, okay, and you are working on them in the gym, that do you work out in the gym for 24/7 hours? No, you don't. You have to go home, you have to rest at some point, because that's literally when the muscles are being toned down and rebuilt, and that's when your tissues and the muscles are being repaired and being built. So rest is so key to the work. Most people think the rest is an indulgence, or it's some sort of luxury that they can't have, or it's lazy to have rest. Yeah, that's something very common. I used to think like that too. So that's not the case at all. Rest is so crucial. In fact, even during my 6-week program, I made it a point to tell my founding members that I'm available from Monday to Friday to answer your questions, but Saturday, Sunday, after I have delivered the session, I'll not be available. Simply because rest is so crucial. Apart from the physical recovery, also the kind of work I do where I have to keep myself clear, like mentally detoxed. I have to keep my channels open. I have to be open to whatever I can download and the messages, and be in sync with nature basically. So, and rest is a huge part of that. Like if I am overworked, or if I'm tired, not haven't slept enough, undernourished or overnourished, then it's very difficult for me to be stable. And once you're not stable, you cannot receive messages. Yeah, they'll come from, you can't understand your intuition. So anyway, I go into all those things inside my program, and right now if I'm just talking about food and then I go into intuition, like I'm not going to be able to show the clear bridge between the two. But yeah, I was talking about, yeah, breaks and rest. So that is very important. So what that means for food is that just because you're on a diet doesn't mean that you can't enjoy life. Like, so for example, oily foods are best avoided for any illness really. So same for psoriasis, simply because it's quite a lot for the body to digest, and you want to avoid that. But if they're, you can have them once in a while. Like, I asked this question to my doctor, like, should I not have oily food or fried foods ever? And he said, listen, you have to enjoy life, but you have to find a balance. Like, he didn't say that, but I understand that's the unsaid thing. You have to find a balance, and that varies from person to person. That varies from how much mental detox you've done. And then you're wondering, okay, Vendula, what is mental detox? I'll tell you about that. So these are the two reasons primarily why people struggle with being consistent. And the third reason is having unprocessed emotions. So this is exactly what mental detox does. Just like food detox takes out all the unprocessed food which have stayed on in your body and become toxins, and thereby creating all these illnesses in your body. Food detox, when you do juicing or you go on a cleaner diet, then it takes out all these unprocessed food and toxins, right? Thereby clearing your body and cleaning your body. Mental detox does the same for emotions. So emotions which may have been triggered in you in a childhood incident or any point in your life, because of an incident or some feelings and thought patterns that you may have inherited from your parents, early caretakers, society, friends, media. So basically society. You may have taken on some thought patterns which are not exactly helping you, which are not, basically, let's put it this way, they're not positive, and therefore they're negative. They are limiting you in some way. They are not helping you go forward in life. They're holding you back. Or negative emotions which may have occurred because of some incident, traumatic or simple incident, which you may have which you may have interpreted in a negative way. Anyway, those negative emotions which have stayed on in your body without processing, like they have stayed on and stuck in your body, gotten stuck, and they have not been eliminated. It's same way as food, which have gotten stuck in your body and they have not been processed, they have not been thrown out of your body. And similarly, emotions also do that. And this, by the way, is the reason why you're not able to digest food, even healthy food. And that's exactly why there are people who don't pay that much attention to what they're eating. They pretty much, whatever they get their hands on, they can eat whatever. They don't pay so much attention, and they have perfectly good metabolism. They don't have as many illnesses. Their skin is fine, so they don't put on weight. I'm sure you know of one such person. I have known people like that all my life, and I used to feel very intensely jealous of them, and then I understood why. These people, they don't fret the small stuff typically. They're mostly like more happy-go-lucky. So they are able to, unfortunately, because of this disposition of theirs, I mean, not unfortunately for them, fortunately for them, they are able to digest food, because here is why. Now what happens in the body is, this is exactly the reason why we are asked to avoid heavy meals before a workout or an exam, or why we don't feel like eating heavy foods or eating anything at all when we are sick. So your body has a finite amount of energy or a limited amount of energy which it can use to digest, repair, or help you focus on a mental task. So for an exam or a presentation that is coming up, if you have a heavy meal before that, then your body will take the energy that you need, the oxygen and the blood supply that your brain needs to focus and concentrate. It will be directed to your stomach. So you will not be able to concentrate, you will feel lethargic, you will not be able to focus. So it will, the limited energy gets split between your brain and your stomach, to put it simply. Same goes for when you are going for a workout or a run. If you have a heavy meal, you feel nauseous, you feel like you're going to throw up, because your body is either going to send all the oxygen and blood flow and the energy that you need to your muscles to be able to do your workout or do your run, or it's going to be able to digest the food. So in either case, either you're going to feel nauseous and throw up, if you had a heavy meal before a workout, or you're going to do the workout but you won't be able to digest the food. Now this is normal, and we all know this. We all know this because we've been told by our elders, we read it, or we feel it in our bodies only. So we know best to avoid food before a workout or a presentation because we feel like we might throw up, or so on. Or when we are sick, we don't feel like eating food, right? So our bodies tell us this. But on a regular basis, most people spend their time, people with chronic conditions, they spend the bodies are in that stress mode, whether they are aware of it or not. And they're in the constant stress mode. So for example, what a person who is, let's say, not someone who's chronically stressed, that person before an exam, before a presentation, they'll feel stressed, and they'll probably be stressed for 4-5 hours, or 24 hours or 48 hours before a presentation, and they'll be stressed at that time, and that's it, and they'll be back to normal, and they'll go back to eating food and digesting the food and so on. But for someone who has chronic stress, their body will be constantly in that feeling of, I have an exam or a presentation or a workout, or I'm sick. The body does not know the difference between when you are stressed because of simple stuff like you're getting late to work, or because of all the unprocessed emotions which are running all the time in the background, you're not even aware of it, and that creates this fight or flight feeling in your body. It activates a fight or flight state in your body, which means that either you're getting ready to run, flight, or you're ready to get engaged or fight that situation. So your body sees everything, the small stuff, as danger, and therefore it shuts down the digestive system so that it can take the energy to places such as your brain or your muscles, or anything that needs to get you out of danger, your body will do. However, that is, you're not in real danger. You're either stressed about someone not calling you, or someone looking at you funny, someone not speaking to your friends, not inviting you, or you're not having a certain income level, or you're not being able to, or you being worried about your career, or you being worried about your life partner, marriage, finances. So yeah, it could be so many things. You let me know what are the things you worry about. I used to worry constantly about, I was subconsciously worried about many things, but consciously I knew I was worried about my future, my career, or for that matter, weight. Of course, psoriasis was there all my life because I had it ever since I was a child. But these are the other things for people who do not have psoriasis. And I'm sure there are many things like subconsciously, so which we are not even aware of. So all this to say that unprocessed emotions are the main culprit. It's not a particular food which is the culprit. Like many people come and ask me, and even in the YouTube videos here on this channel, they ask about a particular food, this, that. It's never a particular food. What we are doing when whatever diet I recommend to people inside my program, the 6 weeks detox program, as well as anyone else would on the internet or doctors, what they are doing is basically taking out foods which are heavy to digest. That's all that there is to it. There is no particular food which is evil or a culprit. Please do not demonize any food. After I have been on this diet for almost 2 years now, almost 2 years, not yet exactly 2 years, and I intend to be on this diet for another year or two, and after that I'll be reintroducing some of the items back. So it's not the food, right? It's not the food, it's my system. The detox that I have done for the past 2 years now, that has helped me to get to this place. So the mental detox and the food detox, and I will continue mental detox for the rest of my life, and the food detox will not continue for the rest of my life, simply because my body is now capable of handling food items which were earlier too heavy for my body to digest. So this is why you need to do mental detox. That is, for me, what I consider the game changer, not the food. Because how long will you be away from your favorite foods? You can reintroduce them back, just like I plan to do them after a year. You can. So what would you rather have, this freedom of not having your favorite food items or ingredients, or going through the mental detox, giving it time because it takes time, and then being able to reintroduce back your favorite food items? I think the latter is a better option, don't you think so? So now coming back to the masterclass, coming back to the masterclass, this masterclass is going to be held on 1st November, 9:15 a.m. IST. And if you are on the wait list, the interest list, then the details have been sent out. So for those who are investing in the masterclass, like I've mentioned, you also get to apply the investment of this to the fuller program should you choose to invest in that once it's relaunched in 2025. I do not plan to relaunch the program until 2025, but at the same time I wanted to make sure people who are in my world, on my email list, on this who have been watching me and have not had a chance to work with me, and they wanted to work with me, they got to know me after I finished enrollment for the program, or for some reason they didn't see the emails or they didn't get to know about the program, then they can start their healing process now, because I'm teaching one of the 6 steps, one of the steps of the 6 steps, and which is key to mental detox. And this one is the one that most people struggle with, and it's really the reason why we have an illness in the first place, because our bodies are numbed out. We don't know which one is the body and which one is the mind, and therefore we end up eating foods which we think we want, but it's not really our bodies wanting those foods, it's the minds wanting those foods, but we have no way of recognizing that. And so that's why we are inconsistent, and that's why we have certain negative food, like I was going to say food patterns, thought patterns, which translate into negative food patterns. So negative thought patterns, which then prevent us from being consistent. That's what it really is, that we think that it's us. So if there's anything you take away from this video, is that it's not about you being inconsistent. No person is lazy. I know there was a phase in my life where I felt, and others too felt about me, that I am lazy. But I considered myself highly ambitious, and I still do. But I always felt that I'm not lazy because I'm not interested. Like actually my friend kind of hinted, she was very kind, and she hinted at it, like she didn't say it about me, but she said it about someone like me, so I kind of sensed she meant it about me. But anyway, she was very kind about it. She said, like, people like you, she didn't say it like you, but I understood it, is that they're very motivated, but I don't see the related effort. Like I don't see the effort to match their goals and their ambitions. Like they have very high ambitions, but at the same time I don't see the effort matching the ambition. And that hurt a little bit, because at that time I was not sure why I was not feeling motivated towards the goals that I thought I had. It's just that later on I realized that I didn't really want those goals. So that's one reason. You're not internally motivated. That could be one reason. Second reason is the negative thought patterns, which is really like deep inside you want those goals, but something inside tells you that you can't have those goals because you're too lazy or unmotivated or indisciplined and so on. And that's not true, because all human beings have a purpose, right? It's inherently there in us. We have desires, and the very fact that we have those desires, so for you that is getting healed, is meant for you to have it. People have desires which, let's say, I don't understand someone else's desire to be, let's say, to study a particular field, let's say sociology, let's just say. So I will never understand why, but for them, they don't need to understand why. They felt that out of all the subjects in the world, they wanted to study that, let's just say. Okay, someone wanted to be a musician, okay, and then someone else would be thinking like, why would they want to be a musician? But for them, they have always wanted that. So all this is to say that whatever you want is meant for you to materialize. It's meant for you to happen. It's meant for it to come true, simply because otherwise why would you think of it? Like, of all things you could be, why would you think of that? like inherently deeply you want it, and sometimes most people don't say it because they think it's not cool or it's not going to be accepted by the parents or the friends or society to say that I want to be, let's say, a musician, let's just say. So they say other things. So, and that is when there is a mismatch between the external motivation and the internal motivation. They want to say things which are more acceptable, like I want to be an engineer, I want to be a doctor, instead of saying I want to be an artist or something like that. An example that most Indian kids will understand. So the point of this is to say that you are not lazy or unmotivated, you just haven't found the right strategy, because that's why you keep getting derailed and you're getting burnt out trying to follow something that actually doesn't make a sense, that doesn't like, you know, make you have progress, doesn't let you have progress, because it's so difficult and it's flawed to begin with. And second is that you have negative thought patterns which don't let you be consistent. So yeah, okay. So if you want to know more about the masterclass, the details about that, get on the wait list. That's how you get to know the details. So it's going to be in the description box below. If you want to get your questions answered live by me, whether you're able to attend it live or not doesn't matter, because you can send the questions to me beforehand. I will take care of that. I will respond to them. So you can watch the replay if you're not able to watch it live. That's not an issue, but make sure you get get on this round of the masterclass, because I intend to not offer it live after this. And the sooner you start with this part of the step, the better, more practice you can get, and that is what is going to make you move the needle towards understanding why you are struggling with being consistent. So you learn 3 things in this masterclass, just to give you a brief overview before I sign off. One being why most people struggle with being consistent. What are some of the thoughts, phrases and negative patterns which typically people who think like I'm too lazy, I'm too indisciplined, what are the subconscious thought patterns that lead to this kind of thinking? And then find out exactly where they are stored in your body, because like I mentioned, all trapped emotions, unprocessed negative emotions, they're stored in your body somewhere, and they are blocking you. So they are stored in some part of your body and you can feel that. So in this 2 to 3 hour masterclass, you get to locate where exactly they are. Either you do, like, you're able to do that, or your money back. That's my guarantee for you. So there is nothing to lose. Get on that masterclass interest list, and the registration for that closes soon. So I intend to close it on 26th October, which is a Saturday. And so make sure you get on that list. And I don't know when this video will go out, that's why I'm saying I intend to. That was the original plan, but now there is this whole internet connection problem, so I don't know when I'll be able to upload this video. But yeah, 26th October is the date as of now for the last registration. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.